This is always a fun segment for me. Joining me now is famous chef Andrew Gruel. He's with, of course, Slapfish. I would not walk by Slapfish if you're ever in California. The stuff this guy posts on social media, my word. Chef, first of all, your state apparently sucks when it comes to getting the economy back rolling. California, most beautiful state in the country, 45th out of 50. 45th out of 50. Why?
I know, because I'm kind of angry it's not 50 out of 50. Look, but it's 45th out of 50 because there's five other morons out there. But really what it comes down to is that every single one of these policies we predicted was going to put California in the hole when it came to everything from business development, trying to stimulate the local economy and getting workers back to work. And of course, all of these things that we predicted have now happened, and they're all trying to figure out a way to spin it and blame it on something else. And of course, somehow it's always Trump's fault, or who knows, maybe it's Nixon's fault. I don't know.
What specifically are they doing wrong that makes your life harder and people you know's life harder as employers?
Well, number one, this executive authority, right? The maintaining these powers under the pandemic has given Newsom the opportunity to really weaponize a lot of local agencies. So whether it's the health department, whether it's OSHA, whether it's a lot of those local agencies that now come into your restaurant, come into your business day in and day out and tell you what to do beyond what once was the purview of their, kind of their scope, right? For example, OSHA now sending letters saying we've got to keep all these specific vaccine records. We have to make sure that people who haven't been vaccinated are wearing masks or aren't wearing masks. We need to keep records. We need to kind of point fingers. And then furthermore, really, that almost deputizes a lot of the team members and then people coming into the restaurants to turn on you. So we're already understaffed as it is. We're already trying to keep up with the tax code in California, which moves, as quickly as Paris Hilton through a nightclub. The problem is that we can't even keep up with yesterday's regulations, let alone today's regulations. Now we don't have the staff to do so, and now they're piling more on top of us, and they're doing so in a manner where they're using these divisive issues, masks, pandemic-related, fictionary, these kind of fictitious items that they want us to stand behind or reject, and then it further galvanizes the hate.
Chef, I'm looking at this from Papa John's. It's giving its pizza makers bonuses of up to $400 and $50 for referring new hires. That's how bad the labor shortage has gotten. We're now paying employees to find their friends who can come to work. Why? Why aren't people going back to work, Chef?
Well, first I'll say that's chump change. We did that anyway before the pandemic and before the issues. You always want to use your own team members to act as a recruiter, right? It's a pretty good business strategy. Everybody's just throwing cash at it right now because they don't understand the nuance of the problem. The reason why there are no workers available is really two or threefold. Number one, yes, people in the entry-level arena are getting enough money on unemployment benefits to wait this thing out. That's not necessarily an implication of laziness, but it also is the fact that you've got all these governors talking about the Delta variant, the Epsilon variant, all of these things, and they're saying, we're going to lock down again. We know we are, so I'm going to take advantage of these unemployment benefits before my governor locks me back down again. You notice in states where the lockdowns aren't as much of a threat, people are naturally going back to work, regardless of the unemployment benefits. Number two, the school systems have been used as a tool. So obviously the unions are making sure that the schools aren't open, which is forcing people to pay for private health care, even though we hate the private notion of this. The goal is, of course, they want to have public health care be part of the taxes that we pay. But in the meantime, people have to fund the private health care. And if they can't put their kids back in school, then they got to make a choice between working and then having somebody else watch their kids or staying home. And then obviously using the money on unemployment. And then the third piece of this is that customers are right now. The government has created a situation that encourages Americans to turn on Americans. And the arena in which we're seeing that happen is restaurants, right? It's something that we walk in and out of every single day, restaurants, food service, et cetera, because we all have to eat. And they're forcing Americans to turn on Americans. They're forcing employees to police people about masks and now vaccine cards. Nobody wants to work in that environment. Customers are really, really unbelievably difficult right now. And that's making it hard for people to come back to the restaurant industry versus working in some sort of a remote industry where they can just punch buttons on a computer.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.